The final boss is back. It's go time. Season 3 is here. Are you tuning in? Every Sunday is Sitting Down Sundays with the final boss. Get ready for an inspiring journey as we dive deep into the transformation from the nation's capital to the entertainment capital of the world. This is the conversation that will ignite your dreams and fuel your ambitions. What you'll experience: game-changing insights from industry leaders, real talk about making impossible dreams possible, the blueprint for leveling up your life, motivation that hits different. This isn't just another podcast episode. This is your wake-up call to greatness. Don't just listen, absorb, don't just hear. Transform, don't just dream, execute. Drop a like in the comments if you're ready to level up with us.
Welcome to the Final Boss Podcast, Sunday night edition. That's it. Sitting down with the Final Boss, which is I, and I is he. Man, I hope everyone is having an amazing week. Listen. Man, football. Oh, man, I'm feeling the football vibe right now. Team got that good old W. Let's give it up to my team, man. The Los Angeles Rams, for putting in the work that they do. Right? Shout out to the entire team. Shout out to Coach Sean McVay. Let's give it up for the coach. All right? Let's give it up for the whole organization. Let's give it up for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who won the World Series yesterday. All LA, man. Listen, it's a great time to be alive. Look, this is an episode number 139. Episode number 139. And of course, you already know, I have an amazing show for you tonight. Yep, I sure do. And look, if you haven't already, please make sure you like, share, subscribe. No matter where you are watching, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Spotify, if you're for your listening pleasures, and Apple, well, trying to get on Apple Podcasts, but currently being defeated. That is not an easy task. But yeah. So tonight's show, 139, we're going to be talking about, what are we going to be talking about? You know what? Before I go into what we're going to be talking about, let's get to the brass tacks. But before we get to the brass tacks, let me remind you that, 1, thank you for joining us. 2, we greatly appreciate you. Make sure you continue to send all of your emails and any information that you have concerning the Final Boss Podcast to our email, which is at info@thefinalbosspodcast.com. info@thefinalbosspodcast.com, to make sure that we get all your viewpoints and everything. You can also continue to DM us. Look, man, I appreciate all of the comments and likes and everything that we're getting all over these beautiful social media platforms. Thank you, each and every last single one of you, for contributing and adding value to the podcast, because right now we're on this journey, right? We're on this journey together. We're building a community. Just doing that deep breath, man. Doing that deep breath, you know. And this is a great time. This is a great time. So let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into the brass tacks. The brass tacks of the evening comes from Proverbs 13:20. And here it is. Whoever walks with the wise will become wise. The companion of fools will suffer harm. I say again, this is the brass tacks. Whoever walks with the wise will become wise. but the companion of fools will suffer harm. And that's tonight's brass tacks, and it's coming from Proverbs 13:20. Proverbs 13:20 for all your listening pleasures, and you want to go out there and research exactly where the brass tacks is coming from, you can also do that. So tonight, yes, tonight, episode 139 is you are the company you keep. You are the company you keep, good people. And I'm quite sure you guys have heard that proverb before, or many proverbs just like it. As it's in reference to the company you keep, right? So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it because I think this might be a little lengthy, and I don't want to go over. I do not want to go over, but I gotta set up this other camera real quick, and yeah, there we go. Boom. Oh man, that camera's crazy. Look at that, man. The visuals is amazing. The visuals are amazing. Yes, they are. Yep. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to each and every last single one of you, no matter where you are, all over the world, watching, listening to the Final Boss Podcast. It is I, and I am here. Right? So, what's good? What's good, good people? What's good? What's good? What's good? Final Boss family, Final Boss nation, Final Boss community. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is Sitting Down Sunday. I'm your host, the Final Boss, right? And today we're going to be diving deep into a principle that literally shapes your destiny, right? And ordinarily, I will probably this would probably be a topic that I would talk about on Motivation Monday. But I'm reserving Motivation Mondays for something else, something very, very special. So tonight we're going with here, the company you keep, right here on Sitting Down Sundays with the Final Boss, right? You are the company you keep. And before I jump in, I want you guys to think about this, man. Think about this. Open your minds, take a deep breath, get ready, because it's time to learn. Go grab you a writing utensil. Make sure you have a good notepad, preferably this one, the Fighter Boss notepad, right? Fighter Boss notepad, where everything you write in this notepad is magical, man. I'm telling you, it's all of papers and the finest of leathers, the finest of leathers, right? I got a surprise for you guys. Hopefully next week. I hope that I can reveal it next week. But look at your life right now, right? I wanted you to take a moment to look at your life. All right? Take a look at your life. Look at your income, look at your habits, look at your mindset. Look at your current energy level, right? Look at your current energy level. All right? Look at your ambitions. Now, while you're doing that, I want you to think about the top 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about the 5 top people you spend the most time with. All right. You see where I'm going with this. You see any correlation. Right? That's not coincidence. That's science. We love talking about science here on the Final Boss, right? And like I said before, this will be something that would be designated for Motivation Monday. But this isn't motivation. This isn't a motivation talk. This is going to be information that's going to be backed by decades of research, observable patterns in every successful person's journey, There's scientific studies out there that prove your social circle directly influences your income, health, habit, mindset. We're talking about peer-reviewed studies, right? Because I love peer-reviewed studies because I love the trolls. I have nothing but love for the trolls. And when they come at me, I'm like, listen, I'm ready, right? I'm armored up with references, resources, and I'm make sure that I deliver you with some impactful citations, right? We're talking about studies coming from Yale, Harvard, Stanford, and other research tracking uh, studies out there in a span of, we're talking thousands of people. Because this isn't a brand new topic, but this is a topic I need you guys to understand and hear from the Find the Boss point of view, right? So we're going to be breaking all that down, how it works, what you can do about it. We're going to be talking about neuroscience, social influence, and coming up with real historic examples, right? We're going to be talking about the cost of wrong associations, and most importantly, the practical framework for auditing and upgrading your circle. By the end of this episode 139, you have a clear action plan to evaluate your relationships and strategically position yourself for the next level up. And get ready for the fired up train. Yes, indeed. Of course. The fired up train, right? So whether you're listening to this in a car, at the gym, in front of the TV, in the bed, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, let's get right into it. And here's the reality. Right? Your brain, that big old thing that's encased in this right here, right? Your brain is wired for social connection, and that wiring affects everything, right? It affects everything. There were some studies that was done at Yale University, conducted. We're talking about groundbreaking research, right? Showing that behaviors spread through social networks up to 3 degrees of separation. Stay with me. That means your friend's friend can influence your behavior without you even meeting them, people. And let me break that down for you. If your friend, right now, I don't want you guys to get all sensitive on me. I'm just conveying the facts. Don't get sensitive. If your friend gains weight, right, there's a chance that 50%, 57% of you will more likely gain weight also, right? And it just doesn't stop there. If your friends gain weight, someone you might not even know, you're still 20% more likely to gain weight. That's because of the power of social influence, right? And while I'm doing this, right, I want you to reflect on what you indulge in daily when it comes to social media, right? While you're doom scrolling, we're talking about the power of social influence. You're talking about millions of people who you don't know, right? What does your algorithm look like? Ask yourself that, right? 32 years ago, 32 years, they did a study. Framingham Heart Study. Tracked 12,000 people. Again, for 32 years, they tracked these people and found that obesity, smoking, and happiness spread through social ties like a virus. If your friend becomes obese, your risk increases 57%. If your friend's friend becomes obese, your risk still increases by 20%. Mirror neurons in your brain automatically mimic behaviors you observe in others. This happens unconsciously. Studies show that emotions are contagious. We know this. The algorithm knows this. Spending time with negative people increases your cortisol levels and stress response. Research shows happiness spreads through networks. If your friend is happy, you're 15% more likely to be happy. And this isn't an opinion, people. This is neuroscience. Your environment literally rewires your brain through a process called neuroplasticity. Every interaction you have creates neural pathways. Repeated interactions strengthen those pathways over time. Your brain physically changes, right? Based on who you're around. Listen to what I'm saying. Yes, I'm talking to you. Listen, think about it. You're not just influenced by your circle, you're literally being rewired by them at a neurological level. Look at your algorithm. Look at what you're doom scrolling. That's why choosing your environment isn't optional, it is essential. Look, Jim Rohn, good buddy of mine, if you didn't know, shout out to Jim Rohn, right? Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This isn't just a catchy quote. Multiple studies have validated this concept, and it applies to virtually every area of your life. Research from Harvard Business School found that your income tends to be the average of your 5 closest friends' income. You've heard the saying, you walk with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th. You've heard that. And it's true, right? If your 5 closest friends earn an average of $50,000 per year, chances are you're earning somewhere in that range too. That's just an example, right? If they're averaging 200,000, you're likely to be around the same ballpark. But it's just not income. Studies show that this applies to your weight, your fitness level, your reading habits, your work ethic, your ambition, even your political views. Your social circle sets the invisible boundaries for what's normal in your life, right? Listen, we look at others to determine appropriate behavior, human nature. If everyone around you works 60-hour weeks, that becomes your standard. If everyone around you leaves at 5, that becomes your standard. What your circle does becomes your baseline for normal. If your friends are all reading 2 books a month, you'll likely read more. If you're binge watching Netflix or whatever you binge watching, on whatever platform you're binge watching every single night, they'll likely do the same, will be doing the same. Your network determines the opportunities you're exposed to. If your friends are entrepreneurs, hello, if your friends are entrepreneurs, listen. Yeah, listen. If your friends are entrepreneurs, you're here about business opportunities, and you're more than likely will be an entrepreneur also. You'll hear about these business opportunities. If they're employees, you'll hear about job openings. Your peers either raise or lower your standards. If everyone around you is sloppy, you'll tolerate sloppiness. If everyone around you exceeds in excellence, you'll demand excellence from yourself. If everyone around you is satisfied with mediocrity, excellence feels like an outlier. You become the weird one for wanting more. But if everyone around you is pushing for greatness, excellence becomes the standard. mediocrity becomes unacceptable. This is why upgrading your circle isn't about being fake or abandoning old friends. It's about survival. It's about creating an environment where growth, get this, growth, my friends, is inevitable, not optional. Not optional. Right? And let's take a look at history. For every major success story, it involves strategic associations. Nobody made it to the top alone. Hello? Nobody made it to the top alone. So my friends who love excellence and greatness, look, it's time to hit me up. We need to put this thing together. It's time to go to the top. It's time to stop wasting time. We've been wasting time. We can't do it by ourselves, right? And that's a dig at my friends. Y'all know who y'all are. It's a dig at y'all. Yes, I'm being messy. But let me give you some examples to back up my point. Look at the PayPal Mafia crew. PayPal Mafia crew. Yeah, Musk, Thiel, Hoffman, Lechen, and the rest of the PayPal founding team. After PayPal sold to eBay for $1.5 billion in 2002, now 2002, right? This group went on to create Tesla, SpaceX, LinkedIn, YouTube, Yelp, and Planeteer. Combined together, do you know how much these companies are worth? How many billions of dollars they're worth today? And this isn't a coincidence. These were brilliant people who made each other better. They challenged each other's thinking. They partnered on ventures. They invested in each other's companies. They created a culture where billion-dollar ideas were the baseline expectation. When everyone in your circle is building rocket ships and electric cars, your standards for what's possible completely shift. Now, this is what you need to do. Find you 5 good friends, and you could do the same. Start having weekly huddles, daily conversations. Start being more creative and building, getting your ideas out there, putting the ideas to work. All this is possible. But you have to understand what the end game is. The end game is always success and greatness, but it takes time. It takes time. This is a slow walk. This is a journey. This isn't a 400-yard dash or 400-meter relay race. This takes time. Right? In the 1920s, a group of writers, critics, and actors met daily in New York. This group became known as the Dorothy Parker. No, hold on. This group became known as, I can't remember the name of what they became known as. But here's the thing. They started producing Pulitzer Prize winning works. They would meet all the time, almost every day at lunch, to sharpen each other's wit, to criticize, to add value. They pushed each other. They made each other funnier, sharper, more creative. None of them achieved what they achieved alone. The group made each other individually better, right? You got stories of these literary giants that created novels like the Chronicles of Narnia, the Lords of the Rings. They would influence each other. right? They challenge each other. Critique leads to greatness, right? You have to have value in these friendships you're having. You have to have mutual encouragement. To you're trying to grow and create something great. You want to build a masterpiece. This is how you do it. There's power with the right association. Your circle either talks you into greatness or it would talk you out of it. And of course, you know, there's always a flip side, man. It's always a flip side. And the flip side is the wrong associations don't just slow you down, they can completely derail your entire trajectory, right? That deserve an evil laugh. The cost isn't just missed opportunities, it's wasted years, diminished potential, dreams that die before they start. Studies show that having obese friends increases your likelihood of being obese, right? Even those friends live hundreds of miles away. Teenagers whose friends smoke are 3 times more likely to smoke themselves, regardless of family background or education. People with negative social circles show increased levels of anxiety, depression, and chronic stress. Research from the University of Michigan found that negative social interactions increased stress more than positive interactions decreased it. Negativity has a stronger impact than positivity. Now, since I brought that up, I did a 2-part podcast back in season 2 on the positive and negative effects of positive negative energy. Go check that out. That was in season 2. Studies show that divorce spreads through social networks. If your friend gets divorced, your risk of divorce increases by 75%, right? And then, of course, you have the crab mentality, people. Crab mentality is real, right? Crab mentality is real. And if you don't know what crab mentality is, listen. When you put crabs in a bucket and one tries to come out, others will pull it down. That's crab mentality. This happens in human circles as well. When you try to level up, people invested in mediocrity will try to keep you at their level. They'll say things like, "Who do you think you are? You're changing. You're too good for us," right? Remember where you came from. That's not realistic. You're going to fail. Be realistic. Listen, we've all heard the talks before, right? These aren't words of concern. These are anchors. These are people who are comfortable with where they are and terrified that you leaving will force them to confront their own mediocrity, right? And there's signs, man. There's signs that out there that you're with the wrong crowd. You're just not paying attention. But I'm gonna break it down to you because I'm the final boss. This is what I do, right? Wrong crowd people. These are people that celebrate your struggles more than your wins. They dismiss your dreams as unrealistic. They make you feel guilty for growing. They drain your energy rather than amplify it. They gossip constantly. Gossipers, man, I hate gossipers. They complain without taking action. They have excuses for everything, right? Stay with me because I'm talking to you. Yeah, you stay with me. The wrong company isn't always bad people. Sometimes they're good people who are just stuck. They're stagnant, right? But if someone is stuck and pulling you down with them, you have to choose your future over their comfort. And that's not being selfish. That's my friends, is survival, right? To my final bosses, to my motivators, to my warriors, to my smarts. Not everyone in your circle serves the same purpose. You have to understand that there are 5 types of people that you associate with. Understanding those 5 types will help you audit your relationship strategically. And let me break this down for you, right? You got the lifters in your group. You need the lifters. The lifters are people who will elevate you. They challenge your thinking, introduce you to opportunities, and genuinely, they want you to win. Who's a lifter? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're a lifter, right? When you talk to these people, you leave energized and inspired. They're 5 to 10 years ahead of where you are, and they're willing to pull you up. These are your mentors, your champions, your advocates. They're where you should invest most of your relational energy. You have to protect these relationships. These relationships are vital to your success, right? Then you have what is called the levelers. These are your peers. You're growing, you guys are growing at similar rates. The relationship is balanced. Sometimes you lift them, sometimes they lift you. You celebrate each other's wins together without jealousy. You challenge each other without competition. These relationships are sustainable and valuable. They're your accountability partners, your mastermind group, your inner circle. You have to cultivate these relationships with intent, right? And then you got the learners. The learners, people you're pouring into and mentoring. They're 5 to 10 years behind you, and you're helping them avoid the mistakes you made. These relationships remind you how far you've come and solidify your knowledge through teaching. When you teach something, you learn it twice. I say again, when you teach something, you learn it twice, right? These relationships keep you humble and grateful. They don't be mindful. Don't neglect those relationships. They're needed. They're necessary. But at the same time, don't let them consume all of your time either, right? Don't let them consume all of your time. And then the 4th type of relationship. These are the loafers. People who take but don't give, right? They're like the energy vampires. They consume your time and energy without adding value. They're always asking for favors, but never reciprocating. They're, like I said, you got it. They're energy vampires. Yeah. They're not necessarily bad people. They just haven't learned how to add value yet. You have to minimize these relationships, set boundaries, and teach them to fish instead of giving them the fish. And if they don't learn, you have to create distance, right? And then, last but not least, you have the leeches. Oh boy, let's talk about the leeches, right? The leeches are the toxic people who actively drain you. They're negative, manipulative. They hold you back. They're jealous of your success. They celebrate your failures. They spread gossip about you. They undermine you behind your back. These need to be removed completely. No exceptions, no second chances. Cut them off cleanly and move on, right? Right. That's what you have to do. So, what have we learned? We just learned about the 5 different types of people and who should stay and who needs to get audited. Now, here's an action step. Here's an action step. Call to action for you guys. Right now, categorize every person in your life into one of these 5 types and be honest. You're not going to be successful with this if you're not honest. It takes honesty. Am I investing my time in the right categories? Most people spend 80% of their time with loafers and leeches and wonder why they're not growing, right? Think about that as you create your list. They say your network is your net worth. Your network isn't just about who you know, it's about who knows you, what value you exchange, and how effectively you leverage relationships for mutual benefit, right? For mutual benefit. So let's talk business. According to research from Stanford Business School, up to 85% of jobs are filled through networking, not applications. But it goes way deeper than that. Your network determines your deal flow, your partnerships, your investors, your clients, your referrals, and your reputation. And sometimes your personal romance relationships. The people you marry can come from here, right? Listen, sociologist Mark Grinovetter discovered that weak ties, acquaintances, not close friends, are often more valuable for opportunity. Why? Why? You ask why? Why? Because, man, your close friends know the same people you do. You're in the same circles. They have access to the same information. Weak ties connect you to entirely new networks. That person you met at a conference once, they know people you don't. They have access to opportunities you've never heard of. They operate in different industries, different cities, and different worlds. Weak ties can be bridges. These bridges can lead to new territories. Research shows that people with diverse networks spanning different industries, backgrounds, and expertise are more innovative and successful, right? Stay with me. They connect the dots others can't see because they have access to varied perspectives. If everyone in your network is in the same industry, you're missing opportunities. My buddy Steve Jobs famously took a calligraphy class in college. Years later, that influenced the typography in Macintosh, connecting unrelated fields, creating breakthroughs. Your network needs diversity to generate innovation. Most people network wrong. They go to these events, they collect business cards. That's not networking. That's card collecting. Real networking is about building relationships over time, adding value consistently, and becoming someone worth knowing. That's the biggest part. Becoming someone worth knowing, putting your value out there and allowing people to see your value. Your network is your net worth. But building a valuable network requires you to be valuable first. Nobody wants to connect with talkers or spin doctors. Man, listen, there's a lot of spin doctors out there. They talk a good game. Yes, they do. They can talk a good game. But nobody wants to connect with these individuals. You have to become someone worth knowing. You have to develop these skills, build expertise, create value. The network from and then network from a position of strength, not desperation, right? Not desperation. Listen, people. I see you, Sensei. I see you on. Um, let's dive a little deeper into this. Let's dive into what is called emotional contagion, right? Emotional contagion. Hey, you know what? That's going to be an episode. Man, listen, I just thought about that. Yeah, emotional intelligence. and contagion. Emotional contagion. Man, listen. Mm. Yeah, I've been coming up with these ideas on the fly. And then I do the research and drive the point to make them stick. Let's dive into that, man. Emotional contagion. This is a verified psychological phenomenon where emotions transfer from person to person like a virus. And just like a virus, you don't get to choose whether you catch it or not. It happens automatically. A landmark study by psychologist Elaine Hatfield found that people automatically mimic and synchronize facial expressions, vocalizations, postures, and movements with those around them, leading to emotional convergence. This isn't conscious. This happens below your awareness, right? You don't even know it's happening. When someone smiles at you, you smile back. When someone slouches, you slouch. When someone speaks with high energy, your energy rises. When someone is depressed, you feel their heaviness. This is mirror neurons at work, right? There was a Facebook study done in 2014 by Facebook and Cornell University. They did a study and conducted, it was a controversial one. They did a study on about 700,000 people, right? Or users, I should say. They manipulated users, and this was in the news. You could go back and research. This was in the news. They manipulated users' news feeds to show either more positive or more negative content. The result, when people were shown more positive content, they posted more positive content. When shown negative content, they posted more negative content. That proves why 90% of the time I am shadow banned. Because if I wasn't shadow banned, there'd be more positive people on my feed, man. Yeah. Take that in, right? When people were shown more positive content, right? More positive content. I remember this. I remember with this study. I remember when this happened. And like clockwork, people will post more positively. It's so crazy that these things happen. This proved the idea that emotional contagion was a real thing. And it works through digital interactions. You don't even need to be in the same room. The energy you consume online affects your emotional state. I keep telling you guys, when you're doom scrolling and you're going through your feed, watch what you consume. The energy you consume online affects your emotional state. That's why your social media consumption matters just as much as your in-person relationships, right? The School of Yale School of Management, they did a study, showed that having one negative team member can decrease overall team performance by 30 to 40%. One person, just one person. That's the power of negativity. And it spreads and inflicts the entire group. Conversely, one positive, energetic member can increase productivity by up to 31%. Listen, if you're not paying attention to the political space that's happening right now, and you can see the if you're aligned with certain ideologies, those ideologies look positive to you versus someone who doesn't agree with those same ideologies, they look negative to them. It works, man. I'm trying to it works, right? All it takes is one person. And this is why companies pay premium salaries for culture carriers, people who bring positive energy that elevates everyone around them. When you spend time with stressed people, your cortisol levels rise. If you ever see me and my face looks fat, it's because I've been around somebody negative. I collect all the cortisol all up in here. When you spend time with anxious people, your anxiety increases. This isn't just psychology. This is sociology, right? Physiology. Your body literally responds to the emotional state of those around you. The energy you surround yourself with becomes your energy. If you hang around complainers, you'll complain more. If you hang around achievers, you'll achieve more. If you hang around negative people, you'll become negative. If you hang around positive people, you'll become positive. Choose your energy like you choose your diet, as carefully as you choose your diet. Excuse me. Yes, stay with me, and I'm talking to you. Talking to you. You want to know how to audit these people and audit your circle? Well, if you took the time out to write down the types of people in your circle, now we can begin the auditing process. Okay. And here's the practical part. How do you actually evaluate your relationships? Most people know their circle is holding them back, but they don't have the framework to assess it objectively. Right? And we can start with energy audits. All right. Think about your circle. List 5 to 10 people you spend the most time with. I know y'all just did this. And for each person, you do the assessment. After spending time with them, do you feel energized or drained? Do you feel motivated or discouraged? Do you feel inspired or depleted? Do you feel like you can conquer the world, or do you feel like giving up? And be brutally honest. Honesty is the key. This isn't about whether you like them. This is about whether you're good, or they're good for your future. Some of the nicest people are dream killers. Some of the most fun people are anchors. Energy doesn't lie. What do you talk about the most? Are you guys gossiping? Are you complaining? Are you coming up with new ideas? Is there growth involved? Look, Eleanor Roosevelt said it best. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. What level are your conversations at? And shout out to Eleanor Roosevelt, man. Dropping bars. Mm-hmm. Great minds discuss ideas. People focused on a group, people who are focused on their group. You got to make sure that these people are focused on the positive and not the negative. You have to also make sure that your people who are focused on gossip, you have to watch those people, because those people are also focused on the past. People's focused on ideas are focused on the future. If every conversation is about drama, problems, and who did what to whom, you're in the wrong circle. And the same thing goes with the social media that you continue to ingest. Winners talk about opportunities, strategies, and solutions. Do your friends challenge you? Do they challenge you? Do the people that's in your circle, do they challenge you? Do they challenge you to be better, or enable your worst habits? Real friends tell hard truths. Fake friends tell you comfortable lies. Real friends say, you know what? You're better than this. The fake ones, they would say, you're fine the way you are, when clearly you're not. If nobody in your circle is pushing you, calling you out on your excuses, or demanding more from you, you don't have friends. You have enablers. And enablers will keep you comfortable until the day you die with regret. And I always say there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline, but the pain of regret is even heavier. I say that all the time. It's etched in my well-being, right? When you win, how do how do people in your social circle react when you win? Genuine celebration, right? Or subtle jealousy? Do they amplify your wins or downplay them? Do they ask questions about how did you do it? Or do they change the subject? This reveals everything about whether or not they're for you or against you. People who celebrate your success want you to win. People who resent your success want you to lose. Watch how people react to your wins. That's the real truth of the matter. That's the real truth test. And yes, I'm still talking to you, so stay with me. Complete this audit this week. Write it down, create a scorecard, and score every person in your circle. Give it a scale of 1 to 10. That's easy, right? Each category. If someone scores below 5 total, they're costing you more than they're contributing. It's time to create distance. It's time to create distance, man. And once you've audited your circle, it's time to start building a new one strategically. And it doesn't matter about your circumstances. It doesn't matter about how old you are. You can't just cut people off and expect a better network to magically appear. You have to be intentional, deliberate, and systematic about building the relationships that would take you to the next level. And before you find your people, know know this. Before you find your people, you have to know who you're trying to become. You have to know who you're trying to become. What does the next level version of you look like? What skills does this person have? What relationships? What habits? What mindset? You have to have crystal clear intent and know your destination. If you want to make $10 million, you need to study people who make $10 million. If you want to build 7-figure businesses, you need to be around people who built 7-figure businesses. If you want to get in elite physical shape, you need to train with people who are in elite physical shape, right? High performers aren't at the bar every weekend. They're not scrolling social media all day. They're not watching whatever streaming service that is out there day and night. They're at the conferences. They're masterminding. They're at these industry events. They're at the high-level gyms, executive lounges, specialized communities. You want to meet entrepreneurs? Go to entrepreneurship conferences. You want to meet investors? Go to investment meetups. You want to meet fit people? Join a competitive gym. Go where your future is, not where your past is comfortable. Most people stay in environments that keep them stuck because these environments are familiar. They're comfortable, and comfort is the enemy of growth. You have to learn how to get uncomfortable. You have to go where you feel like the dumbest person in the room. That's where the real growth happens. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you access. Listen, nobody owes you any of that stuff, man. Right? How can you help someone before asking for help? Can you make an introduction? Or do you have the capabilities of sharing knowledge? Do you know how to promote your work? Do you know how to promote their work? Adding value without expecting anything in return. Can you do that? That's one of the biggest problems that people have. people do not know how to genuinely add value to someone else without expecting something in return. Everybody wants to get paid. Nobody wants to do the work. Nobody wants to see the process through. And that's why it's not many 1%ers. That's why they're the 1%, because they get it. And you don't. And you don't. And that's why I'm trying to help you get to that point of becoming the 1%. You have to start thinking like that. All right. High value people are constantly being pitched, asked for favors, and requested for their time. The only way to stand out is to give before you ask. Be the person who adds value. Be the person who makes other people's lives easier. When you need something, people will want to help you. Relationships aren't built on repeated positive interactions. One conversation at a conference doesn't build a relationship. Show up consistently. Follow through on commitments. Be reliable. Send updates. Commit to communication. Answer emails. Answer phone calls. Right? Be reliable. Check in periodically. Add value regularly. That's how you earn trust and respect over time. Most people quit after one interaction. Winners play the long game, right? Winners play the long game. And you have to surround yourself around winners. Move where they are. Geography matters. You want to build a tech startup? Move to Silicon Valley. You want to work in finance? Move to New York or London. You want to break into entertainment? Go to LA. You want to build crypto? Go to Miami or Austin, right? Your location matters. People say it doesn't, but it really does, right? And people say location doesn't matter because everyone's like is doing remote work. Well, that's partially true. Partially, right? Because you still can involve yourself in some amazing deals remotely, build partnerships remotely, and still have the ability to receive great opportunities remotely. Those don't have to happen in person. You can definitely replicate that digitally, right? And we all know that move is expensive. It's scary, but staying stuck in a city where there's no opportunity is more expensive. Your 20s and 30s are for positioning. Move to where the action is. In this digital age, you can build proximity online. Engage with thought leaders on LinkedIn and Twitter. Join high-level online communities. Take courses from experts. Consume their content. Comment intelligently. Add value to their spaces. Right? Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Look, Gary Vee built his empire through digital proximity, creating content that attracted the right people to him. He didn't wait for permission. He created value, and value created opportunity and attracted opportunity. And you can do the same, right? You can do the same. And you know, nobody wants to cut anybody off. You don't want to hear that. But if your survival and growth depends on it, you need to start learning some new math, the math of subtraction. You can't take everyone with you to the next level, and trying to drag people along who don't want to grow will only slow you down. Some friendships were for a season, not a lifetime. That childhood friend who keeps pulling you back into old patterns, that's a season friendship. That college buddy who only calls when they need something. That's a seasoned friendship. That toxic relationship that drains your energy, that's also a seasoned friendship. That circle that celebrates your struggles more than your growth, that's also a seasoned friendship. Because you've known someone for 10 years doesn't mean they deserve the next 10. Loyalty to the wrong people is disloyalty to your future. You have to be willing to let people go. And you don't have to be dramatic about it. You don't have to make big announcements or have big confrontations. You can create distance gradually. You can be busy when they call, decline invitations, redirect conversations, stop initiating contact. Most people will get the hint and drift away naturally. For relationships that aren't obviously toxic, but are just stagnant, the fade out method always works. You don't burn bridges, you just stop walking across them. Stay cordial, stay respectful, but stop investing time and energy. For toxic relationships that require direct conversation, just be honest. Be honest, right? You can say something like, I appreciated your friendship over the years, but right now I'm going through this growth season and I'm different. I'm different now. And I need to focus on my growth. I wish you well, man, and good luck. And that's it. No explanation beyond that. No justification, no negotiation. Just clarity and finality. They might get angry. They might call you fake. They might tell mutual friends you've changed. Let them, right? This option of yours is no longer your concern. Your future is your concern. So you need to move accordingly, right? You need to move accordingly. Jim Collins talks about having a personal board of directors, a small group of trusted advisors who help you make better decisions and hold you accountable. Most companies have boards. Why don't you? This is your life, right? You're the CEO of your life. Build your board. Your board should be 3 to 7 people who bring different perspectives and expertise. Each person will serve a specific function. And here's what you need to do, right? Here's what you need to do. You need somebody with the open mind and can see the big picture, who helps you see around corners. This person challenges your assumptions and expands your thinking. They will ask you, what are you not seeing? What's the long-term play here? What are the second and third order sequences? Right? This person keeps you from being short-sighted. This person helps you grow. Then you need someone who's like an operator, right? Someone who's excellent at execution. They keep you focused on implementation and results, not just ideas. They ask, what are you actually doing? What are your next 3 actions? What's getting in the way of execution? This person prevents you from being all vision, no action. Someone with wisdom, right? This is your sage person. This can be your AI. They've been where you're going and can help you avoid costly mistakes. Have you considered this? I tried that, and here's what happened. What are you optimizing? This person gives you perspective and prevents you from learning expensive lessons the hard way. That's why I said it could be AI, man, because AI can be used as a tool for all types of analytical reasons. Then you need somebody who's going to challenge you, someone who isn't afraid to tell the hard truth. They love you enough to push you back or push back those excuses that you have, right? And those blind spots. Why aren't you doing this? What are you afraid of? What excuse are you telling yourself? This person prevents you from playing small and lying to yourself. And then you need somebody who can encourage, someone who believes in not only you, but the entire team, even when you don't believe in yourself. They remind you of your potential when you forget. They say, hey, man, you've got this. Remember what you've already overcome. Remember the successes you've had in the past. Listen, we all believe in you. This person prevents you from quitting when things get hard, right? Most people don't have a board, right? Because they're afraid to ask. But high value people love helping others who are serious about growth. You have to frame it as an honor, not a burden. You're not asking for charity. You're inviting them to invest in someone who's going to do something significant. And that person is you. I believe in you. I know what your purpose is. I know you are able to be great. I know you're here to seek excellence. That's why you're here. That's why you're part of the Find a Boss Nation. That's why you're part of the Find a Boss family. And you're on this journey together to build this community, right? Now listen, Find a Boss Nation, Find a Bosses, motivators, warriors, smarts. Listen up. That's our hour, man. I went 5 minutes over, right? I went 5 minutes over. But I covered a lot of information today. We talked about neuroscience of social influence. We talked about practical frameworks for auditing and upgrading your circle. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. It's time to start making actionable frameworks, right? And here are the 5 things you can do just this week. Look, you could complete the energy audit that I mentioned earlier. You could join a high-level community. You could reach out to a potential mentor. You could create distance from someone who's draining your energy. You can invest in personal development, right? You can do all these things. These are action items. Start building your own team. Start building your own framework, right? And listen, if I tell you this, man, if you are not the same person you were 5 years ago, the people you spent time with shaped who you became. You won't be the same person 5 years from now. The question is, are you intentionally choosing who you're becoming, or are you letting your environment choose for you? Your circle isn't just about who's around you. It's about who's challenging you, elevating you, and pushing you toward your potential. Most people stay stuck because you're loyal to people instead of loyal to their dreams. Be loyal to your future. You only have one life. You only got one shot at this, one opportunity to become everything you're capable of becoming. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Surrounded by people who don't see your vision, don't support your growth, don't want you to win. You have to start choosing wisely, choose strategically, choose your future over comfort. That's what you have to start doing. Right? And that's it, man. That is it. And that's it for tonight's episode of The Final Boss, episode number 139. Episode number 139. Right? And if this resonated with you, share with someone who needs to hear it. Like, share, subscribe, send it to a friend, send it to someone who's ready to level up. Post it on your story. Start conversations about it, right? This message can change not only your life, but it can also change someone else's life. And as always, make sure you are subscribing to the podcast if you haven't already. Leave a review. It helps us reach more people when you need this message. Follow us on all the social media platforms at the Final Boss _ podcast. Join our community. Stay connected. Watch us weekly. We're on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And until next Sunday, sitting down Sundays with the Final Boss, right? Stay focused, stay hungry, stay intentional, and remember, you're only one decision away from a completely different life. That decision might be about who you keep in your circle, right? Who you keep in the circle. And as always, you let all of that marinate in your spine, right? And that's tonight's show. To each and last one of you out there, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Good night. I am here. We are here. The community is here and the community is growing. Be balanced, be equal, and be smart. And that's our show for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you again tomorrow for Motivation Monday. Y'all have an amazing night. Peace and love. And always remember, there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline, but the pain of regret is even heavier. Y'all have a great night, and I will see you soon. As a matter of fact, I'll see you as soon as tomorrow at 9 p.m. for Motivation Monday. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Welcome to the Final Boss Podcast, where microphones and mushroom clouds collide in the most mind-blowing chats. We're talking explosive topics, fiery debates, and the hottest guests. Imagine a creative space background, spacey vibes, and out-of-this-world conversations. It's like chilling with your best buddies, but with way cooler sound effects. Every episode, we take on the universe's biggest questions. You know, the stuff that keeps you up at night. And we do it with a bang. Want to know what happens when you mix gaming, movies, and pop culture? Boom! You get the Final Boss Podcast. So plug in those earbuds and get ready for a wild ride. Whether you're commuting, chilling, or just need a break, we've got your back. Hit that follow button and join us on this cosmic journey. Trust me, you don't want to miss these explosive chats. Catch the Final Boss Podcast now, where every episode is a blast. Stay tuned and stay awesome. Final Boss Podcast, bringing the boom to you.